not looking back. Eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde. A classic cliche, we're on the run. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss now. I'm done living life with the lights up, done with my own doubts.
The day of you. Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to another day of UR TikTalk here from UniRazak. My name is Tara, and I'm so happy and so glad to see all of you here today on this lovely Friday afternoon. All right, so to all of you who are viewing us from Facebook and Instagram, thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, to our pages, and also those of you who are viewing from YouTube, also remember to subscribe to our channel. If you are already a loyal viewer, thank you so much. You're going to be spending 60 minutes with us. This is a weekly thing where we talk about different topics, interesting topics, all related to the field of education here today. All right, so what can we do with a degree from TARSOG? That is a very, very interesting question here that we want to talk to you about, right? So what does TARSOG stand for? TARSOG stands for Tun Abdul Razak School of Government. It is definitely the leading center for the study of public policy here in Malaysia. You will see later on the course that the program that's available is definitely a very interesting programs. And our topic, what can we do with a degree from TARSOG? We will definitely find out as the undergraduate programs in this economic, government and public policy, as well as our leadership programs. Let's learn more about it. Our academic experts today, they will help you to identify and learn and find out more information so that you can definitely better benefit your decision making in the future for your study pathway and towards your career goals. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we kick off meeting our academic expert, let's watch a quick video here by UniRazak. Please enjoy. Wasn't that such a great video by UniRazak? It featured all the real people, in campus, and also real people who are behind the scenes. The real people who manages the program, who are managers students. So those are real people. All right, let's get moving. Let me introduce you to our speakers. As you can see on the screen, we have our beautiful speakers here today. Hi, how are y'all doing? Are y'all doing good? I hope so. Thank you so much. Right. All right. So our first speaker, yes, our first speaker who is just at the bottom on the right side of me. Right. Is the first speaker is Mrs. Mardziah. Okay, Hanim Mahazir. Right, she's the deputy dean here at TARSOG, or the school, Tun Abdul Razak School of Government. So from here onwards, we're going to refer it to TARSOG because it's definitely a very catchy school name. Mardziah is the deputy dean, all right, and she has a master's in public management. And with almost a decade of teaching experience, she is a subject matter in government and public policy. Today, as our academic expert, she will share with you the program in UniRazak and definitely, what can you gain out of the degree from TARSOG, right? And then let's look at our gentleman over here, right? Our gentleman just below at the screen here. Hi, his name is Faezlan Angah, right? So Faezlan, how are you? He is an alumni here with a Bachelor of Arts and Leadership. So he is a previous student of UniRazak, of course, an alumni here, and he was the president for X Club, ACTS Club UniRazak, and an active student with the other university activities. Currently, he is working as a quality assurance USA in Better Dance, and his hobbies include playing the guitar. All right. So how are you, Faezlan? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good today. Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, we can't wait to hear from you. All right, and our third speaker, our third speaker is the beautiful lady over there. How are you? All right, her name is Noor Ariqah. Noor Ariqah Syahirah binti Muhammad Suzain. She's also an alumni here with a Bachelor of Arts and Government Bachelor of Arts, Government and Public Policy. So Miss Ariqah just graduated recently last year, all right, and during her study time, she had the opportunity to join the student exchange program in Edinburgh University in the year 2020, and I must say that is very, very lucky because 2020 is where Malaysia shut down, or the world shut down the pandemic, but she was lucky. Before that, she managed to join the student exchange program at the UK in University of Edinburgh. And currently, she's working with Yayasan Raja Zarif Sofia Negeri Johor as an assistant to the head of corporate communications. All right, so I have introduced all our three speakers here today. Let's get on with the questions. All right, so the first question is for Miss Mardziah. Okay, Mardziah. I'm sorry if my pronunciation is not so good, Mardziah. So, can you please, how should I call you? Is that correct, my pronunciation of your name?
You can just call me Hanim lah.
Hanim, all right, that's definitely better. I know in campus you are more commonly known as Hanim, right? All right, okay, so Hanim, all right, so the first question here is for you. Can you please share with us what Tun Abdul Razak, Tun Abdul Razak School of Government is, and what's the history behind it? Tell us a little bit about TARSOG.
Okay, so hi everyone. Okay, good to see you guys virtually this afternoon. So, Tun Abdul Razak School of Government, or the acronym we recall after this as a TARSOG, was established in the years of 2008 as the only private universities that offer the studies of public policy in Malaysia. So that's the reason why UniRazak decided to go uniquely in offering this, the programs or the studies in public policy, because we use the name of our second Prime Minister, Malaysia's second Prime Minister, Tun Abdul Razak, okay, with the visions of Tun Abdul Razak in nation buildings. TARSOG aim or dedicated 3 main programs under graduates that called Bachelors of Economics, that mainly designed to promote sound economic policies that will benefit the whole nations. Okay. We also offered Bachelors of Arts, Governance and Public Policy, which mainly this program focuses on the issues of good governance and how to promote nations buildings and integrity through the policy makings. And the third programs that TARSOG offers We call it as a Bachelor of Art Leadership. Okay. The leadership program focuses on building the leaders' qualities that Tun Abdul Razak carries throughout his career in leadership. Okay. So from the establishments of the school, starting from 2008 up to now, we already have 7 cohort, or we call it as a 7 batch, that been produced by Tun Abdul Razak School of Government specifically and UniRazak generally. So that is a little bit histories on the Tun Abdul Razak School of Government, TARSOG, and the programs that been offered by the school.
Thank you, Hanim. Definitely. We will ask you more questions later about the program, further info. All right. So before I forget, our viewers out there, if you have any question that you would like to ask our speakers, please feel free to comment below on whatever platform you're watching, whether it is Facebook or whether it is YouTube. And we'll definitely try our best to answer your question. Or if you don't want to ask the question, you just want to say hi to your friends. We definitely welcome the communication. All right, so my next question is for Ariqah, right? So Ariqah, based on your profile, it says here that you participated in the 6-month student exchange program at the University of Edinburgh. Can you please share with us a little bit about the exchange? How you managed to get the exchange program, got into the exchange program, and what did you learn from it? So what was the experience like? Do you enjoy it? Tell us everything if you can.
All right, thank you, Miss Tara. All right, so there are 2 aspects that I've learned in terms of personally as well as in general. So personally, I have learned a lot about myself in the durations of 6 months, in which is that the first one is being independent. So being abroad, albeit it's just half a year, I've learned one must learn to be self-independent and also adapt themselves in the situation or the foreign environment that they're in. From managing your own financial to booking your own appointment, as well as to cook every single day for yourself. So growing up, my mother actually trained me to be independent with her working far from home and me just living with my grandparents. So living abroad, even though I feel that I was equipped with being independent, it is still actually a bit different when you are in a foreign country without any of your family members. So one of the funny things is that I didn't realize that I was actually a great cook. I don't really cook that much here back in Malaysia, but once I was there, I actually cook every single day, and I didn't know that until I spent 6 months in Edinburgh. So therefore, possessing surviving skills is actually very essential. So the next one is something in general, is that I've learned to expand my horizon. So learning new culture and tradition is actually something that one must grasp when you are abroad. So it's actually something that you could not learn online or through your screen. I mean, you could, but it's just a bit different. So experiencing it firsthand would give you a better understanding of the difference of our culture and also theirs. So one of the simple things, or that is something that is very light for the knowledge for the viewers out there, is that when you greet people or when you say hi or hello, you don't really say hello, you actually say hiya. So when you go into the store, when you go into a taxi or the bus, you actually say hiya. So that means hello or how are you doing? And it's important to identify that it's only the Scottish and also Northern England dialect or even culture. So if you were to go to London and you say hiya, you actually might get a stare from them, because I've done it before. So that includes everything. So which aspect of the experience did I actually enjoy the most would be, I would say, the combination of travel, people, and also lifestyle.
That is amazing. That's one of the things that we definitely enjoy as students. If the opportunity presents for us to travel, to represent our university and also go for an exchange program, we experience traveling, experience learning new culture, and also see, learn something about ourselves. Like in your case, you actually realize what a great cook you are. That's amazing. All right, so Faezlan, the question now goes to you. Yes, as a graduate from the Bachelor of Arts, which is the leadership program, Do you think that this leadership course has made you a better leader in what you do? Because now you are currently working, you've entered into the corporate world, and from your perspective, what are the criteria of good for to make someone good, a good leader in an organization?
Okay, all right. Thank you, Ms. Tara. So for that question, right, for the first part, it turned me into a better leader than I was when I first entered university in every aspect. Because in leadership, we learn everything from the personality, from what they have done, their mistakes, and every achievement they have made. So in my point of view, this is all history, and history is something that we must learn. It is very important and very crucial to our lives because it is like a theory, it's something that someone else has done. So why do we need to to repeat someone's mistakes, or why do we need to repeat someone's trial and error when we can have an exact answer? So the leadership course actually provides me with all of this, from the theories to the implementation to the practicality of it. So what I got was an eagle's eyes view on the world, the organization, the company itself, even the sector itself. Even if I did not have that previously, it is, and how I say, it has been trained. I have been trained to adapt, to learn more. So this is what really matters in the leadership course, because it is not actually, it doesn't teach us what we need to have and what we need to be, but it teaches us what we need to have in order to be the perfect person for the country, for the nation, and also for the organization itself. So in every aspect of life, we are a leader, from an individual to society to family to a bigger aspect, to a bigger sector. So what I gotten was the ability to get all of this by not only during my studies time, but also after, when I venture into the world. And for the second part, the criteria of a good leader, in my own opinion, would be someone who knows who he is to whoever. Meaning, we can be a good leader, but what kind of leader do we need to be? That is the question. We need to be different people for different different circumstances and different environments. That's what I've learned. We cannot just have one kind of leadership in ourselves, because there's like a few billion people in the world with different customs, different races, different cultures. We cannot just impose one regulation for everyone, impose one way of doing things. So we need to have someone who knows who he is serving or who he is leading, representing. And the next one is they have to be selfless to an extent. Good leaders are known to be selfless, but if you are too selfless, it could be bad for your own party, for your country, or for your own organization. So someone who knows the balance would be good enough. And a professional person, someone who's very good at critical thinking. Professional doesn't mean you have to walk around in a suit with a bow tie or a tie and always have to act like you're not funny or not you're not playful. What I've learned from my experiences, my studies, and also my everything that I've been through, professionalism lies in the ability to think and to act as per how the situation is and to who you are facing. It doesn't mean you have to really be serious about everything. That just means you're being serious. It doesn't mean you're being professional in any way. And critical thinking, understanding context, openness to things. This is what, in my opinion, the leaders of the world today who have problems in organizing their own company, their own nation, their own society, this is what they are lacking. So in order to have critical thinking, understanding context, and openness, it requires a lot of research, a lot of, how to say, idols, a lot of learning from past experiences, learning from people. I believe this course that I've taken, the leadership course in Razak, it just gave me everything I needed, because yeah, we have learned from the past. We are learning at the current moment, and we are also taught to learn more and more, become more innovative, personalize our traits, personalize everything that we have learned into how we are doing in the world today and what we are about to face. So adaptability, just like how Ariqah is adapting to her life abroad. Yeah, that is one part of TARSOG that has been instilled in all of us that makes us different from other courses, I believe. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Thank you. Well said. Yeah, a mark of a leader is not just about how they look, whether they're being serious, they don't tell a joke, but it's also about how they respond to crisis and situation, and also how they tackle situations right now. The pandemic, the mark of a true leader is how they help their staff and their company to survive this. Right. So we actually have a very, very busy platform going on. I think on YouTube it's actually very busy. Starting from 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 hour before we went live, we have someone called Faezlan who says he is Faezlan's #1 fan. Oh, interesting. Okay, all right. So thank you, Faezlan for being so encouraging, correct? And then we also have Shukri. Thank you so much for viewing in. And we have one of you very loyal viewers, and Arif. All right, selamat sejahtera. Terima kasih. Right. So everyone, we have actually a question here. Question here is by Syahirah and it's quite a relatively simple question. So I think maybe Hanim can answer this question. It says, what is the duration of the Bachelor of Economics? Hanim, can you take that, please?
Alright, so the duration for studying Bachelor of Economics, you will take 3 years to complete. It's around 9 semesters with UR. So you will have seven semesters in classroom and 2 semesters, which is 6 months, you need to undergo for the internships. So that is the structures for the programs that you need to complete within 3 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So it's the simple answer. Yeah, the simple answer is that the program takes 3 years, but of course it's more than just study the course. It's about building your relationship, making friends. It's about building all the soft skills, and also experiencing life as a student so that it prepares you to become a future leader. Right. Let's move on to the question. So this question we'll go back to Hanim, right. So TARSOG is really unique because it offers the Bachelor of Arts in Governance and Public Policy. All right. So this is something that when people think of the word governance and public policy, they think, oh, I'm going to be working in government. That's not necessarily the case, right? But another thing that we like to point out is that the academians teaching in TARSOG are all actually experts in their field, and a lot of them, or most of them, actually possess industrial experience before starting teaching, or even while they're teaching right now, they continue to become consultants in the industry, right? So they are industry players, right? So could you share with us, Hanim, TARSOG's achievement in producing quality graduates, and maybe you can give us a few stories where they're working now. I'm sure our viewers would like to know about the career opportunities after completing this program here at TARSOG.
Okay, so I did agree when you said that TARSOG offers a very, I could say, a very well blend between industrial experienced people as well as a very good academic backgrounds in preparing the qualities of the students, which is I totally agree because I coming from a different background of studies. Previously, I'm not in the private universities, so I can't really see the differences. So when I first joined to Abdul Razak School of Government, so I can see a different styles of teaching. Okay, where I can see the academician will teach the student in an academician's way, while the industrial people will teach the student based on their experience. So I could say that will be a very good mixture, or we call it as a good blend in teachings. Okay, and it helps the school specifically and the university generally to produce a very high, I could say a high qualities of graduates. Okay. I agree with what Ms. Tara mentioned just now. When people see or hear the name Tun Abdul Razak School of Governments, they automatically think that they need to work with government or they need to become the politicians. So it is basically not the very end of the career. You can choose to be that, but pursuing degree with Tun Abdul Razak School of Government not necessarily requires you to be in the public sector, not necessarily requires you to be the politicians. Okay? So that's what you can see. The two speakers here. Okay, one in the private sector, one in the yayasan. Okay, the third sector. All right. So currently, based on the 7 cohorts that Tun Abdul Razak already produced, majorities of the graduates are working in mainly public sector. It can be in the law enforcement agencies, ministries and government department. 5 are with the PTDs, and 1 with the has a positions as a special officers to the minister. Okay. But some of them who are not into the government elements, okay, decided or takes their career path in the private sector. Okay, so you can some of the graduates are currently building up their career with the banking industry. Okay, some are becoming the academy as well, right? Some are with the DLC as well. Okay. Besides that, they're also venturing in the third sector. Some are very, very active, okay, in helping the NGOs, in helping the societies. Okay. Some also even go beyond, okay, by becoming an entrepreneur, okay, setting up his own business, okay, with the aim that he can contribute to the society as a whole. So that is the varieties of the product, I would say, the graduates that being produced, okay, by TARSOG based on the programs and the experience that the students get throughout their studies with Tun Abdul Razak School of Government. So I think that the other speakers also can add on what would be their experience.
Yeah, definitely. The other speakers can definitely add on talking about maybe later they can share with us about their experience, their work experience, and how is it a reflection of their degree, right? I think that one of our viewers has a question, which actually, Hanim, maybe you can answer later. Maybe you might need some time to find your data. But the question is, what is the employment rate for the students that study the Bachelor in Economics, all right? So because just now you shared with us the kind of career opportunities, right? So the employment rate, maybe we'll give Hani some time to answer that. Maybe now we can go to Ariqah. All right, so we can go to Ariqah. So the next question for Ariqah here, it's a little bit related, still related back to your experience in Edinburgh, but we'd like to do a comparison, right? So can you share with us what specifically a few points that you learned during your study in Edinburgh that you used in your current career, but also maybe for the sake of our viewers, maybe you can share with us the program that you actually did when you were there, so that they can have an idea of what you studied, right? And what has made those students studying governance, okay, different from others? Why do you think students who study governance, they are very different from other people who, let's say, study just a business course or studying finance? What makes the difference? All right, Ariqah?
All right. Thank you, Ms. Tara. So one of the major aspects that I've learned in Edinburgh and applied to my current career is that the important usage of English. In UniRazak, our main medium would be in English, and which I believe that it has given me the advantage when going to the University of Edinburgh. So as we do use English during classes as well as assignments. So in Edinburgh, even though I am actually fluent in English, but I must admit that I am not as perfect and do sometimes make mistakes in my professional writing as well as also sometimes when I speak. So what I've learned in Edinburgh is that the correct usage of English is essential when you are in the working world. So I need to be able to adopt the appropriate usage of English in terms of vocabulary, the appropriate vocabulary in different situations. So at the moment, I am under a corporate communication at Raja Zari Sofia of Johor Foundation. I am partly responsible for the social media as well as translations for social media postings. writing in English with the right words and meaning is crucial, especially when everyone reads your postings. So we do not want to deliver the wrong message or translate it to an entire different meaning. So indirectly, the public would read as well as learn what you have written. So therefore, I have learned the correct usage of English is very, very crucial. So the next one would be tech and diplomacy. So meeting all types of people of different level of societies taught me how to communicate with the people that you meet from different backgrounds. So the topic that you may talk about here in Malaysia, you may not be able to talk about it in Edinburgh. So assessing the people as well as situation is important, as we do not want to offend any parties in any way. So the same goes to my career. I've met people with different levels of background. I went and accompanied my CEO for a meeting, to even distributing food packs and donations in rural areas. So how you communicate with professionals and those makcik and pakcik in the rural area is a totally different way. So I have not only learned this in Edinburgh, but also while completing my internship at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where I met ambassadors as well as also entertained the public. Next would be what makes studying governance and public policy different than others is that those who study, or we call it GPP, would understand easier of what is going on either in Malaysia or abroad, or basically other countries, as well as having different perspective, I believe from others. This is because taking GPP, it trains you to assess or to look at issues in a certain or in a different perspective, which you would have to know the reason why some certain issues actually occur. So is it due to the government or administrations or systems, or even because of politics? So there are many aspects that as a GPP students would need to identify, and also to identify the root cause of some certain issues. So I believe that is just the advantage of GPP students, or also something that is different from others when we actually take GPP as a degree.
Amazing. Can we go back to Hanim? Hanim, do you have the answer for the question earlier from our viewer?
Okay, the employment rate, right? Okay. So far I could say in terms of the percentage, okay, this one in terms of the employment, I could say the percentage will be around 70%, okay, due to the fact that how well the student wanted to continue or to enter the workforce, okay, because in our school we do have some let's say alumni, okay, who decided that entering the workforce would be their later stage. So the remaining 30% of the graduates, okay, decided to pursue their studies in a postgraduate level. So I would say that currently for graduate from Bachelors of Economics, there are 2 students who are in the stages completing their PhD studies. So depending on how well or how ready, okay, the graduates wanted to enter the workforce. I hope that it can help in answering the questions.
Yeah, definitely. I think that helps. Also, I think what you mentioned earlier, there are some students who actually decide to be entrepreneurs, and start their own business, and maybe that does not include in the numbers of people in employment. All right. So let's go on to Faezlan. All right. So for Faezlan, actually I have a question for you, and also the viewers have a question for you. All right. So and I think that we can kind of merge the 2 questions together. All right. So my question is actually, what have you learned during your time in your studies, and especially your achievement as the president of X Club, how have you contributed, right? And let's go to the question by Firdaus Ahmad. He says, what is the career or path or opportunity for the Bachelor of Leadership holder? And he would love to hear Faezlan's amazing experience. All right, so maybe Faezlan, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here.
Okay, sure. All right. Thank you, Fidos Ahmad, for the question. For the first question, that was, yeah, what did I learn and how I contributed as the president of X? I would say really good, because X was actually a place that is not very formal, because having a club of arts, or having club practicing arts, music, acting, talent, and all in a university that teaches you very formal stuff like governance, like economics, and business management and all. It is very, very, very. It's not the norm there. But what we learned there was how to implement what we have learned formally into something that is innovative, like how I would put it. So this was a practice. This was what gave me the idea of how to apply what we have learned in TARSOG into the private sector. Because when I was a student, I too had all these things on my mind, like will I end up in the government only? Will I be working with shirts on? I mean, like formal shirts on, with suits and ties every day, in leather shoes. Because truth be told, I'm not that kind of a person. I'm more of an art person myself. But I am also interested in human relations, in governance, and politics, in policies. So where do I put myself in the future? Where is the ideal place for me to be? X succeeded with, although we had very limited resources and very choking regulations, but we did good with all those. We adapted and we survived, and we had a lot of activities going on there. We had dance sessions, musical lessons, and all. So we had performances every time. The uni would help hold events, and they wanted performances. X would be one of the first ones to reach their hands out to these people, and that explains how adaptability is a very important thing. And regarding Fidos Ahmad's question, what is the career path and opportunity for a Bachelor of Leadership holder? So I graduated from from the Bachelor of Leadership, Bachelor of Arts Leadership. Like I said, that was what was on my mind. I don't want to end up in the public sector only. In fact, I spent a few months in the Ministry of International Trade and Relations. So I worked in the government sector for quite a while, tried to adapt, tried to see how it was in the bureaucracy, the hierarchy, the workflow, the people, the environment, the culture. It's not that I couldn't adapt, I could, but personally, it was not my thing. I wanted to pursue my career in a world that is new, modern world, very innovative, and into new sectors, because I believe the world is so big. There's so much more to offer. Yeah, so much more to offer. So after leaving MITI, I decided to go into MNCs, multinational companies, because that's what I would like to have in my career path, a sense of communication, a sense of international communication, and working in a new sector, something that our fathers, our grandmothers, our grandfathers had not devoted their newborn son to. Someone is not it's not a common norm for people to say, oh, I want to venture into this sector. So what I did was I went into a travel company, but it's not really a travel company. It's more of an app for traveling. So this is something innovative. People in their right minds who had the classic way of thinking of where to go further into their career path, they wouldn't be thinking about having to go into the apps sector, into this new industry. But turns out this sector might be new, but it's one of the fastest growing and the biggest part of the world now. We have apps everywhere, in our phones, in our PCs, in our watches, even our Apple watches, our new high-tech watches. So it is a growing sector. It's fun. It's innovative. I don't have to wear suits every day. I can keep my long hair. And it's not formal at all. It's a very flat hierarchy kind of work environment. I really enjoyed that. You'll be working with millennials. You wouldn't be working with on the one on the a certain part of people, but you'll be working with every everyone that you can even think of in your right mind. We have expats, we have people from other countries, people who speak other languages, people from every background available there. So you learn a lot, you learn more, you grow. And then actually, Bachelor of Leadership, uh, it offers you every work opportunity, every human relations related work opportunity. I have friends of mine in the human resource department. I have friends of mine in talent acquisition. I have friends of mine in the banking sector, finance. Even I myself, I'm in the app sector. I'm working on moderation actually. So I work with policies, online policies regarding apps, trends. These are all very, very new things. And I finally got the answer. The answer to my previous question when I was studying: do I have to land in the government world? The answer is no. I can actually go anywhere. People who took leadership studies can go everywhere. The product of the leadership course is not what we have learned. It's actually who we are. Because unlike other courses, this course specifically trains you to be the best product. You are adaptable. You have a very open mindset. You have very, very innovative thinking. You can accept new things. You can understand every part of the world as if you're in that certain part, as if you grew up with those kind of things and not from Malaysia, not locally. You can absorb everything and then reflect back like you have always been part of that thing. That's the beauty of the leadership course. You are very, very competent. Do not worry. You can go anywhere. Yeah.
As point of view and perspective is very, very, very important, right? And from what I understand, Faezlan, your experience studying and also continue with your work, it has definitely give you an international point of view, a perspective that is just not what we can say from a one-sided perspective. You can look from it from many ways and understand the situation. All right, so thank you so much to all our viewers. All right, let's move on to a question, right? And the question now is for Hanim, right? So the current situation right now, which is the pandemic, and we have been in lockdown for almost, I think, 16 months, definitely more than a year already. This is definitely a great time for our experts in UniRazak, to flex their understanding, and their knowledge about economics and government and also public policy, right? Because, there's so many things that's happening to our economy. There's so many things that's happening in terms of governance and also policy, right? So maybe Hanim can share with us, how does the academians, the lecturers here at UniRazak, how do they apply the current situation that's happening to encourage students so that they learn, they are exposed, it matches with their study and make them prepare. And maybe you can share with us an activity or two that they do, to make students feel like they are learning not only the knowledge but also from real life experience. Hanim?
True enough, the current situation do really helps in giving a clear dimension, I would say a clear perspective why policy is important to be part of their, let's say, lifelong learning. Okay, because I do believe that a responsible citizen should really engage in the public affair. What I mean by that, whatever happens surroundings you is basically based on your actions towards your environments. Okay? So the current situations do really helps we as the educators, okay, to prove that in whatever that you think, even a very tiny or very minor issues at hand is basically could give a very let's say big impacts, okay, not just to you yourself but to the society as a whole. Okay, when we talk about how does the programs do adapt with the current situations, we practice this from the earlier on already, meaning to say is that in giving a real experience to the students, current issue will be the main discussions, okay, during the class times. Okay. Whatever issues that occurs or the students are being given with a very, I would say, the real situations, okay, for them to understand, to adapt, and to apply the knowledge. Meaning to say that whatever that they learn in the conceptualized basis, okay, they need to apply. So they can test them by themselves whether or not whatever that they believe, okay, they create their perspective and the reasonings that they do give some kind of implications to the situations. The current situation also do helps us, okay, in ensuring that the students do really knows that the decisions to be parts of TARSOG student is basically worth. Meaning to say that they know, they also, by the knowledge that they have, they play a role in giving some kind of like opinions. I would like to share this kind of like experience that I have with my students. Okay. During the current situations, the students really into this the decisions made by the governments. Okay, so when we start this class, before we start this class, okay, the student will ask on the daily ask impromptu questions, okay, pertaining to the daily decisions that being made by the government. Madam, will this be the right way we need to respond to this situation? Thus, this minister do portray the correct qualities to become the leaders for the country. So this really give some kind of like impacts, I would say, some kind of like situations where we know that even though the people or the student does not really realize they are actually having an interest into the situation, but in whether they realize or not, they are actually wanted to be part of the situation or being part of the environment. So I believe that this is the current situation do give a positive movements to the people outside there in telling the people how important or why, or the main reason why policies, good governance and good policies creation is really needed in helping the nation's buildings. Okay, that's all from me.
Yep. Okay, that's a very interesting answer, right? Because now is definitely a good time for everyone to be aware of what's happening in our country, what's happening to our policies, and and people in the academic world, especially who have the theoretical knowledge, but also like in UniRazak, the industry experts. This is definitely a great time to move forward and push that experience and knowledge to our future learners and future students also. All right. So we actually have a few questions, right? Yeah, and it's quite busy, our chat comments here, right? So this question here is by M. Arif, and the question in Malay says, apakah di dalam sesebuah ilmu pendidikan tersebut ada dalam kesenian dalam ilmiah pendidikan tersebut? I'm trying to decipher the question, but I think maybe the question is what is the benefit, I think, okay? Or maybe what is the kelebihan, apakah kelebihan pendidikan itu? Alright, so maybe we'll give our speakers a few minutes to think about the question. Maybe anyone would like to tackle that question, alright? But we also have a question by Manso Lumasani. Okay, Lumasani, it says, hi, I have a question. Okay, hi, Manso, thank you so much for joining us. How many TARSOG graduates have managed to secure jobs with multinational companies so far? Okay, multinational companies so far. So this question, maybe Hanim can answer, but also I think Faezlan also has answered a little bit just now because he actually worked in a few interesting places. Maybe he can also answer a little bit that. So would you like to tackle the question first, anybody? Shall we go to the questions that we have in I have for you first. All right, so maybe we'll go to Atika. Okay, maybe Atika, I will ask you a question first. All right, and the other two from our viewers, we will give you some time to think about it. All right. So Ariqah, so not Atika, sorry, Ariqah. All right. So Ariqah, with the knowledge and the exposure that you have had during the time of your study, okay, I'm sure that like what you have said earlier, you have applied it in your career. All right. So maybe you want to give an advice. So what is the one piece of advice that you would like to give to our viewers who are taking this program for their future careers, right? What is one thing that you would like them to know before they start studying this program?
Okay, thank you, Miss Tara. So one important advice for the viewers there who would undertake this program is to have a broad perspective and to identify what path you really want to take, something that you're very passionate about. Taking government and public policy, before I start, to all the disclaimers out there, no, this is not a paid review, yeah? Taking government and public policy, it equips you with various sets of skills and knowledge as it provides you a vast but comprehensive courses. So ranging from economics, politics, legal or law, government institutions and administrations, of how the government functions, as well as its policy making. The courses also provided not just the government functions of Malaysia, but also government abroad and touch on international relations. So knowing what you want to do in your future starts from your programs. So it pushes you to your career of choice or something that you are passionate about, and makes your journey much easier. So even though my ambition is to work for the government, specifically for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Malaysia, but until the opportunity presents itself, I will use my qualifications to undertake suitable employment given the current work market conditions due to the pandemic. So what they should know about this program is that being in government and public policy program does not mean that one is tied to the government. As Madam Hanim mentioned before, even after you have graduated, it does not mean that you would have to go to the government due to your degree. So as mentioned, government and public policy equips you with various sets of skills and knowledge that this program would produce graduates who is able to adapt to different organizations or sector, whether it be the government sector, private sector, or like me, the NGO, which is the non-governmental organization. So therefore, please do not be intimidated with the name governance and public policy, as politics and government is not the only courses that you would be learning throughout the entire degree, as there are many more aspects that GPP actually focuses on.
Thank you, Rika. All right. Maybe just now the question about what is the benefit, all right, or apakah apakah sebuah ilmu pendidikan tersebut. I think the question was what is the benefit of the course. Maybe Hanim, would you like to share that question? Or maybe we can go to the next question. Maybe that the question about how many graduates have managed to secure jobs in multinational companies. Right. So that one could either be Hanim or maybe Faezlan can also share his experience.
Okay. Based on my experience, yeah, because my friends, some of them I've lost contact with, but I have I think all of my batches went to the private sector, worked with MNCs, and none of them really went to the government sector. I mean, that's for my batch. But I know some of my juniors also have been working in MNCs, namely Simdabi, Agoda, and also AIA, Prudential. They're working in finance sectors, Maybank, Hong Leong, all those local companies and also MNCs. So I don't really have a specific statistic, but if you happen to meet some of these people on, I think you can look up on LinkedIn for UNIrazak graduates. You can see I think almost half of them, 50% of our graduates are in MNCs. Yeah. So you don't have to worry really. Given the right push, given the right effort to find a job, you can land a job in any MNC you want for no worry, man. So you have all the things you need You just need to implement them now. So hold on to what you have learned. Learn how to personalize those things and adapt it to wherever you're going. You'll be fine, no worries. Living proof, and also living proof for all my batches. Yeah.
All right, great. Okay, so I think that answers it. Maybe we also, oh, now we're having lots and lots of questions here. But also, we have one of our viewers here who is an ex-TARSOGian, okay, or ex-UniRazak student who says, "Don't worry, I'm currently in the banking, not baking or banking. I think it's banking, right? Banking sector, all right. So don't worry about your future career. TARSOG really offers a good course to prepare yourself to enter into your working career. Yeah. Okay. So we see, for example, like Ariqah, she is in the NGO, you know, and then we have someone from our viewers who is in the banking industry. All right, so it's definitely interesting. Right? And also we have Ace who says, I agree with Faiz. I'm also an ex-Sokian. Most of us are in MNC, multinational corporation. All right, interesting, very interesting. We have maybe one question. Let's go back straight to Faezlan again. Right. So you are working with Quality Assurance USA, right? And you know, definitely, I think this career is like what you have mentioned earlier, something that you enjoy. You know, there's no hierarchy. You know, you can still keep your long hair, but you're also, you know, working on your communication skills and building your career. Maybe you can share with our viewers on how they can prepare themselves to be to be more competitive in the employment market. You know, someone who is, you know, worked in a few different areas. Maybe you can share with us.
Okay, sure. So an advice from an alumni. All right. Okay. I understand that the work opportunity right now is very scarce, and it is a very competitive world right now. Everyone is trying to look for jobs. Given our current situation with the COVID-19 and all, it has become worse. It's not really a sight to be wishing for, but to be competitive based on my own experience and from my batches, from what I've learned, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, and everything I've witnessed. I think your certificates are certificates. They are on your resume. What makes you competitive is what is in you, because the employers are not hiring your certificates; they are hiring you. So in fact, everyone can go to classes, but not everyone can get those things in themselves. Cannot be instilled in themselves. So and for to be ready to be competitive, first of all, the best advice I can give is be adaptable. Work on your flaws. Do not skip your flaws. Do not stop when you think that you have flaws. Don't try to avoid certain things because you can afford to do certain things. That's not supposed to be where you stop. That's supposed to be where you improve. I mean, those things you lack are your turning point. They should be something that you are working on to get to go further in life, because that is what makes you better, and that's what makes you competitive. To be specific, try to work on your adaptability in surroundings, the way you communicate human relations with people, formally, informally, with your superiors, with your colleagues, with people around you. You have to be in a way with certain people in order to get along. Because truth be told, we are not really looking for best friends in the working world. We are not really looking for your partner, your love, your life. You are looking for somewhere to grow in your career path. So being, it doesn't mean you don't have to be yourself, but you just have to adapt. Meaning you have to be just slightly different in order to suit the circumstance and in order to suit the environment. And try to work on critical thinking and also your crisis management, because technically speaking, everywhere you go, there will be trainings for your certain job scopes for your own sectors. Everyone will have to go to trainings again. It's not like you go through your undergraduate, you get your cert, and then you are well known enough, and then you are, how to say, it's not necessarily that you have a degree and you know everything you need to do in your working sector. You will have your trainings again, because different job scopes, different sectors requires different skills, different expertise. What they really want in you is your own ability to adapt to the situation, and the way that you explain your context, the way you understand, the way you learn, how fast you learn, how you are using yourself to suit to the environment. That's the people. That's the kind of people they are looking for, not people who already know what to do. And one more thing, try to work on your English proficiency. You don't have to be really fluent with all the accents and all. You just have to be sufficient in order to get into the working environment, and then you can work on yourself later. Because English, despite what everyone says, it's not that I'm not a patriot, but this is the truth. We try to be a stoic now. We try to relate to what we need, not what we want. And the ideal world may not really be achievable right now. So try to be a stoic, try to adapt. And English is a very important thing when you get into the working world, especially the private sector, because that is your main language of communication. You'll be working in MNCs with people from abroad, and they wouldn't be able to speak your local language. Therefore, that is a very, very, very important factor to try to work on that.
Wonderful sharing, Faezlan, right? Wonderful sharing. So we have a few more questions from our viewers. All right, let's take a look at those questions. Right, so we have a question here by Syahirah Al-Nasir Hamza. Maybe not related to TARSOG, he says. Does the CPA certificate offered by UniRazak can be exempted for any subject for ACCA? So I don't think any of our viewers, our experts here, will be able to answer that. But Syahirah, what I can recommend you to do is that you can definitely contact UniRazak directly, and they will definitely share with you the information. You know, I think that because you have already posted a question here on YouTube, you know, someone can definitely contact you, and you can also contact them, you know, whether through email or through WhatsApp, which is the number posted at the bottom of our screen here. Yeah, okay, so definitely keep that, keep going asking that question. And we also have something here for Hanim, Madam Hanim. Yeah. A question to Madam Hanim by Firdaus Ahmad. What other professional certification that TARSOG equips their graduate in addition to their degree? Right? So Hanim, maybe you could share that.
About the professional certifications. Because of the uniqueness of the programs, it's kind of like quite challenge for us to fully align our programs or our courses with in a professional body. But no worries, if you are enrolling in any programs with UniRazak, some of the courses already been mapped and being certified professional by one of the bodies that called Chartered Management Institute, CMI, which is the professional bodies for management and leadership. Okay, so far, 2 to 3 courses and the program of Bachelor of Economics, Bachelor of Governance and Public Policies, Bachelor of Arts, Leadership already received the professional mappings with these institutes. So what the graduates just need to do next in order to get the professional certifications is to enroll few more courses with these bodies, CMI, Chartered Management Institute. To complete the courses or to complete the module, then you will get the full set of the professional certifications. So it's just another steps that you need to continue after graduating or in line that or in the same time you are completing your bachelor.
Thank you for the information. You know, of course, students who are in the program itself, they always have people who are able to support them if they have any questions. You know, with our lecturers and their mentors, and also the faculties and the management are able to help answer any of your questions related to certification. No problem. So we have come to almost the end, and I have my last question for our panel of experts today, and this question is for Hanim. All right. So let's talk about UniRazak and the program one last time. All right. So what are there any promotions at the moment offered by TARSOG? You know, and also while you're sharing the promotion, maybe you could share some reasons on why students should study at TARSOG. All right. Hanim?
To get your interest in studying with UniRazak. Okay, if you are a person who are wanted or really have say an interest in giving comment to whatever happened in the public affairs, or you really have the kind of like becoming want to become a responsible citizens, okay, to the nations, or you are into the elements of wanted to know what happens surrounding you. Okay, if you're fulfilling these three main criteria, okay, I could say that TARSOG will be the choice that you can try to take a look, okay, on the courses where you will have an experience in giving up your opinions or your interest, okay, towards the issues. Okay, and because of, I believe, studies in UniRazak generally and TASOG specifically, we did not just provide you with a strong academic skill, okay? But throughout the studies, we also provide the students with hands-on skills in project management and implementations. Okay, this is true enough because we also received a very good feedback or very good comment, okay, from the industry when when the student go do the internships in the organizations. They do acknowledge that the programs that's being offered by TASOG specifically do fit the needs of their organizations. Okay? So I also would like to add that just now some of the viewer did ask how many the numbers of students or the graduates that can secure positions in multinational company. I don't really have a specific numbers of students, but I do know that majorities of the students do have in wide varieties of the sectors, as I mentioned earlier on. Is some into the policies, but not the national policies, but there are masters in corporate policies. We do have some of the graduates who are currently working in the Petronas, one of the main PLCs in Malaysia. Some are in the banking sectors, some in the IT company. So it is a wide varieties of the selections, right? Besides that, okay, this is the new offers that TARSOG wanted to offer to any of just prospects outside there who have interest in studying Bachelors of Economics. Okay, as you can see in your screen after this, okay, TARSOG for July 2020, okay, intakes will offer a full scholarships, okay, that we call the name of the scholarship Tun Abdul Razak School of Government Nations Building Scholarship, specifically for any interested prospect who want to pursue their studies in Bachelors of Economics. Okay, so this is open for you. So what are the requirements? Okay, if you want to ensure that you can grab for this opportunity, we offer this full scholarship for 10 slots. So 10 slots, you will have the opportunity to grab these scholarships. The only requirements that you need to have no less than 3.0 CGPA if you are coming from STPM, UEC or any equivalence level. Okay, so making sure that you have no less than 3.0, then you are eligible, okay, to apply for this scholarship. Okay. Besides that, okay, just to ensure that we really can hire or can recruit a very good student that have a very a quality kind of students that worth the scholarship. You guys also are required to submit 215 word essays that tell or give that tell your inspirations, okay, why you wanted to study the economics program. So that is the only requirements offered for 10 people. Okay, at least 3.0 CGPAs, and you just need to submit 250 words essays, okay, telling us why you wanted to pursue the studies for Bachelors of Economics. That's all.
Thank you, Hanim. sharing. Okay, so definitely to all our viewers out there, we look forward to hearing from you. The promotion sounds amazing. All right. So before we end our session today, and I can't believe that we've already passed over an hour already, right? So before we end our session today, I'd just like to tell our audience, yes, the July intake is still open. Okay, UniRazak July intake 2021 is still open. So what you need to do is very simple. Just go to our website and visit www.unirazak.edu.my and try to grab the Tun Abdul Razak School of Government Nation Building Scholarship for the Bachelor of Economics Honors Program. All right, like posted that you saw earlier. You can also contact us at the number that is projected at the bottom there. All right, so it's 0327891599, or you can also send a WhatsApp, send a message at 01433729925, or if you're a little bit more shy, you can also send an email to drjoe@unirazak.edu.my. Right, so don't forget to follow our pages, MyUnirazak on Facebook and Instagram. And to Hanim, Ariqah, and also Faezlan, thank you so much for spending your 1 hour on a Friday afternoon. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, even though we can't go out anywhere, right? We can just order Grab food and Panda food and enjoy whatever snacks is available out there. So to all our audience, please stay tuned for our upcoming event next Friday, live TikTok Live 3.0. And don't forget to keep your distance, wash your hands, stay safe. And if you're given your vaccination, go for your vaccination. Don't cancel it, everybody. Go for it. We have to be vaccinated to get past this pandemic. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a nice weekend, everyone. Thank you so much.